Hello and welcome to another gameplay review on the Virkayu gameplay channel. And in this one, where we have a new patch and the replays are once more broken, I've managed to snuff out our rank 1 Yi play that we covered a while ago, going up now against Vitality Troublemaker, otherwise known as Selfmade, and we have the classic Vladimir one-trick representing the Nautilus mains on support. Always good as a mid laner. It was good to have a mid laner on support because they tend to understand map rotation significantly better than a lot of other players in terms of prio and jungle tracking. Well, at least they should. And always the jungler on support is good as well. So we'll see how that goes, but being filled, obviously, against a Yuumi with a Yi, which I just noticed, yeah, that's going to be interesting. So how do you, in your majority of elos, actually destroy and melt a Yi Yuumi comp? Obviously, we have the Bruce Wayne Aurelion Sol, but you know what is really funny? People always make a lot of fun about weird and unique picks, and then you go into high elo, E-West career, whatever it is, and you just see such strange things from one-tricks and mains that just learn the game in such a unique way that they get to this elo. So don't let that stop you dreaming, but at the same time, fundamentals, always number one. And while the runes are on your screen now, remember, fundamentals, advanced concepts, iron through master tier coaching, whatever else you might want, a lecture full of jungle-only knowledge and fun. The bootcamp, it is available. It's starting end of February. Tickets are on sale in the description below. Match history for this will also be in the description below. Let's see what happens. Well, what goes on. I was going to say what goes on, what happens, the same thing. Right. Pull the red buff, almost get the reset. Remember, if you do accidentally overkite it and the red buff decides to say, you know, middle finger to you and go back to its hole on the ground, just smite it to get it so that it doesn't reset. Because if it fully resets, you can have a bit of an issue. Now, we are obviously going onto our Krugs at this point. Pay attention to where Yis might start in terms of leashes, red buffs, and so on. Always it's nice if mid lane has prior to ward this so we get a bit more traction about what Yi is doing, but I think we can all agree we anticipate this to be at least a 5-6 camper for both of them, so nothing too interesting, which means while you're doing that, please don't stare at yourself. Focus on lanes to see what might happen. Ah, thank you so much, as I was talking about it. Beautiful, thank you. Now we have all the information we need. Dude started red, Krugs, Raptors, and is now going to the blue side, and from this information, we can then invade, and that's crucial. I've seen this even in Iron coaching with mid laners doing this, so I'm pausing this to drive home the point that you cannot tell me this doesn't happen in every elo. Obviously not as much, but it does happen a decent amount, and you can have early wards yourself to track this, and we just covered on stream a Platinum gameplay where this exact same scenario could have happened, did happen, and at this point the Yi now is basically saying, well, I'm screwed, but this is what you're looking for, and it doesn't matter how you get that information. Voila. How do we beat a Yi, ladies and gentlemen? We invade and do not let him rest. We give him pain and pain only. And what's very interesting, actually, as I said, the Platinum game we just covered on stream is beautiful because it's almost a very mirror situation. And what is the Yi going to do to try to get himself back in the game? From a Nocturne point of view, if you can get any sort of early vision down to see where he's going, this is a play you can make. And red side into this invade is something I really like doing. Don't stay for the grump in case he comes down, but we hit this. It's unlikely he's going to come down. He's most likely going to go to, you know, try the top side crab. Fiora is using the top lane pressure. If you are a jungler in this situation, and I'll maybe cover a little bit of the Yi as well, just so you guys understand both sides of the coin. I think in these games it's nice to look at both sides of the jungle. Obviously we're going for this. We don't have smite, well, because we just used it, so we get it. Chains of Destiny are going to hit. Mid lane rotates out. Perfect. That's all you're looking for in that situation. Just don't overchase the Fiora and die. Typically very good advice, but some people still do it. They go for the crab, they go for the blue, invade here and die. This is what I don't understand. You know, you'll come at a base, just out in your wolves, lost bottom crab. He did it. As I'm saying don't do it, he did it. Never do that. If you don't win 1v1, and that's where the Conqueror is so good, because you can fully stack that baby, and of course you have your spell shield and your fear. This is a mirror example of the Platinum game we just covered, except in Challenger, and it's showing you the differences in mindsets and how things can pan out. Yok, I understand, this sucks, this is griefing, but you know if you're close enough to the respawn of the Krugs, you can take it. You know if you're respawning your Raptors, you can take it. The dude's gonna protect his jungle to stop this. If a Yi, and a Yi will do this by the way, a Yi will do this in low elo, give you those windows to punish him, take them. You see this, he gets shown on the red. We know this is going to be an invade. He does it. Laners don't even enter the equation. Yeah, he has prior, but he just goes for it anyway. Now, because the Yi invades, we kill him. That's what we want to do. That's why we pick Nocturne. The Yi's knows like... Oi! Top 10 gaming moments, right? This is a challenger game. Very, very good. So, firstly, don't do this. Make sure you control the rest of your camps as best you can. Ideally, obviously, this is just a good play by the Nocturne. I understand the need to fight the Yi here. We do it, but obviously try track the mid laner. That's fine. That's just one of those things that happens. But for me, the Yi... thank you, Twisted Fate, for trying to help us. And now they're still fighting up here. And he's died 3 times, 1-3-0. Punished the Yi every single time. Now, we do have second tier Krugs, second tier Raptors. I don't really have anything to say about what we just saw in the Raptor pit. Other than we kind of know he's going to do that, sneak away the Raptors and leave. If he shows up, we kill him. Obviously, watch mid lane. You know, top lane rotates. Typical invade scenario. Nothing too fancy about that. Now, out of base, we do have our Iron Spike Whip because we are not going Gorge Ring, going Stride Breaker. Obviously, the new fighter items, as soon as I get replays on those, I will cover those for you. Wolves will have respawned. Grump is a tier 1 that's available. Yi is now going to be forced to make a gank because you basically have to say, as Mercy, can I win this game by AFK farming and just not leaving my jungle? No. So... He shows bottom lane. The red buff is going to be spawning. Don't focus on your bottom lane whatsoever. A lot of periods of silence in this stage. We have hit level 6. This dude's level 5. He does flash. That's absolutely fine. Ult for flash is always worth. Now, we know Yi was on the bottom side. We have to be mindful of Twisted Fate hitting 6 relatively soon. Although, because this is something, you can see here his experience. It should be on this wave. Normally, they will hit 6 on the 530 wave. So, if you're with a Twisted Fate against you or on your team, if nothing weird has happened, right? No weird things have happened, then at that 530 wave, they should be able to get level 6. Obviously, with the fights, the rotations, the deaths, the nonsense, that's significantly delayed. So you can play a little bit more aggressively up until that point, but just pay attention to it. Now, Yi does the dragon. He ults to try and get a kill here. Out of base comes the Aurelian Soul. We're yeeting the Raptors on the red. That's very nice. Hyper-aggressive play by the Aurelian Soul. And this is something in coaching we talk about a lot. What you see is, right, the jungler almost getting spoon-fed. Does it not look like that? It looks like he's just being literally spoon-fed. 5 out of 6 kills. Ask yourself, would you be in the same situation in your game to get rewarded for this? He is in the right situation with the right play, because it's obviously self-made, invading weaker players, invading with prio. He's setting those traps. He's ready to capitalize and get those kills. So many times, people make mistakes just like the game, as I said, we covered. The Yi's just now hanging around the bottom side. You know, he stole the red in response, because that's pretty much all he can do at this stage. That's as much as you can do here. But he shows bottom lane, we take the Herald, we take the Raptors, we take the red. And in coaching, it happens so often. A platinum game even, you'll see the enemy jungler bottom side after a sequence of a quadrant clear. He'll steal your red. We don't take his red. We don't take the Raptors. We don't take the Herald. You just take your Grump and Wolf. So the idea that you're being spoon-fed here is very easy in a challenger game to look at. Ult is up again, by the way. It's very easy to look at this and say, well, I don't get spoon-fed like that. Well, yeah, because you're not in the position to get spoon-fed. So it's an interesting relationship between, you know, being in the right position and capitalizing on enemies' mistakes. It's a good thing to think about, though. And now we reward ourselves with Grump. We could go down for full sequencing on the Wolf camp. However, because this game is a bit more messy and simplistic in a way, just basically a raw case of when people play badly, you can win games in 20 minutes, you know? Level 5, he's been zoned, he's been pushed out of the lane. How many times is your top laner, and I know as junglers we love having Chad top laners, how many times is your top laner smurfed it and you don't do this? You don't support it. Maybe you just full sequence again. And you're like, it's a simple life, but I'm enjoying myself. What does Selfmade do? He says, no, you know what? I know the dude's bottom side. He can take my camps. I don't really care if he wants to. He can take those camps. I don't really care. I'm going to take the Grump. I'm going to take this. I'm not going to give him a window to go top lane. I'm just going to go there myself. Now, keep him level 5 as long as possible because it's an off-meta pick. It's weak. It's squishy. We can punish it. Use the Herald, get plates, and now move back into his jungle. Careful, though, because bot lane will be resetting. He will be looking to reset, so you could be overwhelmed. You force the enemy team to react to you. So keep that in mind, obviously. Because we can see here, Kaiser's bot lane. We see no one on the map, right? You see no one on the map. Okay, we see now Israel and Yumi. They didn't rotate because why would they? And I like these kind of games in Challenger because even though it's a, Giga Turbo Stomp Smurf game, we've had a lot of close games lately on the channel, 30 minutes long, so many of them. So it's nice to see something where it's basically, hey, we're taking over mistakes and we're just going to push the map as far as we can. This is good. I wonder if Aurelion Sol now is going to give up. I hope he tries a little bit. No, he's doing what Aurelion Sol does, level 5. Dude, you can just be holding the wave. Yi is basically, at this point now, getting a lot of free stuff, though, yeah? He's getting his blue quadrant sequenced. He's getting your red camps. He's getting stuff. And remember, all he has to do is get to certain itemization spikes, so you've got to keep that prevention going. Twisted Fate holds the top lane. They're going for full-on dive. Everyone is just now perma-rotating. If you have a top lane duo that you roll with, in this situation, this is great for duos, flax, and clash, by the way, and you use that Herald top lane to push multi-towers, elevate the game state. That's what you've done. Move on down and together go down. When I'm playing top lane, I'm playing a bit of top lane lately. Excuse me, I clipped the mic. Because I'm having so much fun with Sejuani, and obviously with the jungle Discord, I got a lot of jungles to play with. So when I do play, I've been playing some top lane Sejuani. I do exactly this. We spam gank top lane, we push the towers, and then I just walk on down bottom lane, and I use my Unleashed teleport to protect the tower later on. Again, nice read, counter gank, and now the classic assassin. Set the trap. Don't let them breathe here. Do not give them windows to farm their camps. Do not give them windows to move into the river. And this is something we spoke about even as a scaling jungler. Ult, flash, stunned, Umid, Ezreal is here, hook, dead ADC because she over pushes and dies. Now we're going in here, okay? Watch it, use your flash once we've got the kill, very nice. Elite 500 is by himself. La-da-dee, la-da-doo. And he dies, because that's how Nautilus sounds. So, careful. You have a huge lead, it's a free win, but I guarantee you, in your normal games, well, your classic games, there's no way to say that. In any game under this particular elo, it's still winnable. Because it's a Yuumi Yi, it's an Ezreal. Strong. Very strong. So now LeBlanc is collapsing, on the mid lane. They've gotten some plates back here. So they've killed Kai'Sa, they've killed the Nautilus, they've burned the Nocturne's flash, they've gotten themselves some plates. We have Aurelion Sol Bing chilling on tower, he can do nothing because Nocturne, again, once more help that out. Aurelion Sol also kind of cursed himself, so he has to blame himself as well. In the meantime, take your camps. Oh, this is so generous. Keep your blue. If you're high elo, fine, but rest of you, keep your blue. They're not going to use the blue. Are they going to use the blue? How many times have you seen a mid laner get the blue and then die? Ult is available because we have Axiom Mark, of course. Alright then. We ran out of mana. You see what I mean? We now have no more mana, so we have to leave. Unfortunate. You could technically stick around here. I'm not always a huge fan of using the ult here. Obviously, we get the flash, which is great. But I'm not always a huge fan of necessarily full ulting in a slower game before you're 11. Like, if you're pretty close to 11. Because if you take the blue, and we sort of reset and we look for the dragon play, spend our cash monies, because what are we at now? Almost 2 grand. And you take maybe the bottom scuttle, plus you take the Krugs, you'll get that elevated CDR on it, but it's not really much of an issue with Axiom Mark as well as Ultimate Hunter, as in the rune set you would have seen. But it's still 14 seconds off the CDR, right? So we use it now, we'll be 11, and we'll look to see if there's a fight that happens in a closer game, most importantly in a closer game, where you might have 14 seconds on the ult, and you need to ult to win the fight, but you don't have it, because you didn't save it for maybe this moment, so. It's always good to burn flash for ult, though. Just remember that in a closer, slower game, are you ruining my gameplay review now? Is he ruining our gameplay review? This is unfortunate. This is unfortunate. Two days in a row, EU West. I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed, guys. Come on. Solo queue. Keep playing the game. Damn it. Enrage me. You absolutely enrage me with this. What example are you setting to the general population? Never mind! The rest of Red Team says, screw Mercy. We shall win by ourselves. And then the cinematic Aurelion Sol glides in, We take the dragon. Alright, fine. We gotta keep going because we're almost at the end anyway. Oh, I hate it, but you know what? I've seen bigger throws before. Let's stick with it. Yi dies. Fiora on the bottom side. Nice, quick, snacky game. We didn't really have the pick of the replays this one. So, here we take the Wolves. Okay. Wolves Gromp into Herald is fine. In a general situation. Because you do Wolves Gromp, you wait for your team, I'll just give you as much educational tips as I can in the situation. to close out games, because that's what we want, right? We want to close these games out. So let's try do that with a bit of edutainment spin. You with me? You with me? Good. Stay tuned. We do the wolves, we do the grunt, we slide to the herald. A voice crack, there you go. You can laugh at that as well. All kinds of things can happen in this game, in the voiceover. Who knows? It's because I growl so much and then my throat gets sore. Komadi. Free kill. Beautiful. I do think we could have taken that Gromp though. So, normally you can take the Gromp Herald and do the exact same play. Move into the enemy jungle, set traps, and you're still seeing like, the rest of the team is still trying to make plays, but they're so far behind. And I think the biggest thing about... Okay. If he's farming it up, it's his own mistake. Okay, so ideally no one dies in these situations, okay? Ideally no one dies, but if you're looking to close out, what have you noticed? What can you take away from this video, right? Besides, obviously, don't screw yourself over. Again, it's very similar to the gameplay we just covered in coaching, but into their jungle, set the wards, set the traps, force the fights, you outstat them very, very easily. Just be a little cautious about not being too aggressive with it, so you don't want to die. Push all the towers. This is very much a clinical closing of the game. They could surrender the game, but honestly, in these scenarios, when you have someone's perma-splitting on the bot lane and now you've died. Okay, so here we go. Now that you've died, all right. Strong item. Now that you've died, you're not on the field to be able to react to this, okay? The rest of your team fortunately is, but however, it's still a boom! Dead. It's still a game where if they die here, and you are dead, and now they maybe go for Baron or Dragon, you give them windows back into the game, so... Obviously, if they're splitting and they rotate, just collapse as well. Best we can do in this situation. 10-2-6, I think the nice thing is, we've all had games like this. I can relate to this game. In this situation, you don't really need to be with them. You could end. I think we probably should just end it, but we don't have Fiora. She doesn't have TP. They do have a scaling team comp. Everyone's going to respawn. Let's not pull a Canyon, and this is a classic Canyon thing from the videos where we sort of try and end it. We don't. Kamikaze asked this again before as well in chat one time. Just wait for your team. Get a better position. Set a trap. It's all good. Then we've all been in these games where we do a great job as a jungler. We force the enemy jungler to tilt and troll, and then we Kamikaze bomb the enemy team, but we have no mana again. Dude, mana hungry. Like, you're seeing this. It's disease, man. Yumi is diseased. It's still, even though it's a completely dominating game, 10k gold lead, it's still frustrating. Man alive. If he had mental capacity to stick it out, this could be way more interesting. Fiora, though, makes a change. Could be with them. No problem. Is what it is. Alright then, so, takeaways from this game. Obviously, the end was unfortunate. EU West, unfortunately, disappointing us. But there's always something you can take away from a game, because if you have these games, push the map when you have a lead, and first and foremost, when there's a Yi against them, get vision control, get good information, and punish every single mistake they make by being in their jungle, denying the camps, being in the right position to capitalize on troll plays. That's the best way I can put it. Obviously, I apologize for the way it ended, but I think at this stage it's pretty much a ruffle stump of a game. But I do think it's important to understand not only these games and how we can close them out, but as well the games when we're down and we have to come back like the Poppy games. So thank you for sticking with me on this one. Bit of a rough ride. Replays were a bit glitchy, so this is what we got dealt. Either way, I was going to say the cards were dealt, but they have a twisted fate, so is what it is. Thank you very much for watching. Please do like, share, and comment if you enjoyed and perhaps learned something, just a small something. Comment below what champions you would like to see next. We do cover everything on this channel. If you've seen an off-meta spice, let me know as well. Boot camp information in the description. Discord information in the description for checking out jungle stuff. And yeah, main channel, new tier list on Friday. Anything else I need to let you know? Don't think so. That's it. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I will see you all in the next tutorial, which will be a better replay, because now I'm going to be paranoid and Giga Scout ahead to make sure that we don't get this again. Thank you very much.